Good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful May 25th today. If you can believe it, there is no wind down here at the South Farm. It is perfect spraying conditions. We finished seeding, by the way, like last night, 2 a.m. I am still like Grizzly Adams. I know. We obviously finished seeding up north, and we come back down here, help get done seeding down here. I think my brothers got like maybe 2 more days left. I offered to switch my one drill that I have down here into the same crop that they're seeding, which is durum, the back half of durum. And they said that they're good because they really only have like 1 day. It's more messing around than anything. So anyway, that's fine. We are crop spraying. Donovan took off to spray our very first durum that we put in, because we split our durum up. Half durum goes in first, other half durum goes in last for risk management purposes. So here's an update on the grass that I seeded into. Clearly, my burn-off worked because all the grass is dead. That's what it did look like. All that nice greenery over there. Beauty. And this is what this looks like. Now, this is my durum. I seeded durum into this. Got nice little green rows coming. It is a little bit on the yellowish looking side, and that is just due to the amount of nutrients I put down. I think I can't remember what I told you guys. I think it was like enough nutrients for like 25, 30 bushel crop. Maybe it was only 25, which direct seeded into a 15-year-old crested wheat grass stand. That's probably all I would expect, to be honest with you. Now, let's talk about that for a little bit here. This was not seeded into native grass, in case some of you guys are late in joining us. This was not native. This was seeded about 10, 15 years ago. There's no alfalfa out here. But there is apparently a little cactus out here. Oh, man. This was the hardest stuff that I seeded into in probably ever. I nearly wrecked my drill. And the Bourgeois are as tough as nails. Like, they're heavy, heavy drills. You can't break a Bourgeois. You can wing those things up and you can roll them down a valley, but you can't break them. Speaking of Bourgeois, who's that over there? Oh, we just missed him. I actually think that is Terry and Wyatt. They're moving up to do some more seeding up here. Anyways, so I know you guys got lots of questions. Like, first of all, Mike, if it was grass once, it probably should have stayed grass. Look at that beautiful, nice green grass. It's the first time it's been green in like 3 years. But anyway, that's a whole side the point. If it was grass, it should stay grass. In fact, your whole country should be grass. Well, I kind of disagree with you a little bit there. The person who owned this had cows. Their passion was cows. It's farmed on all four corners. It's farm ground seeded to grass. We are now taking it out of grass, putting it back into farm production. It will take a couple years to get to full production out of it. I always say about 3 years to get full production out of it. I know your other question is going to be, well, Mike, why wouldn't you just waited till it rained? Waited till it rained, buddy, and then, seed into nice, beautiful, soft soil instead of wrecking your drill into hard concrete. Well, coming out of a 3-year drought, we're not guaranteed crap down here. We don't even know if it's ever going to rain again, coming out of a 3-year drought. So it's going to get seeded one way or another, and kind of came part of a package deal. Over there on top of that hill, I'm going to zoom in. Hold on. Woohoo! We're going to time travel. See that great big green hill out there? That's a section of really good farm ground. And I'm far enough away from home that I'm not seeding that and coming back here for this 190 acres of grass. All right, this is getting seeded at the same time that got seeded. Now, that is far more advanced. That's like 3 to 4 leaf stage up there. Dang near ready for herbicide. This is only like two leaf maybe. Some's only 1 leaf. And the reason why is because I seeded this into dry, powdered dirt. This didn't germinate until we got that rain. And speaking of rain, we're sitting around that 4 to 5 inches. That's more rain than we had probably these last 3 years. Oh, definitely would be. We haven't had a slow 3-inch soaker like what we had. We had a 3-inch slow, week-long soaker. We haven't had that since like 2016. Well, Mike, you're farming in the wrong area, buddy. You should have this whole southwest corner should be grass. There's not a tree in sight. Well, you are right. There's not a tree in sight. Trees aren't even native to the prairies, you guys. They're not native. Any trees you see, they were planted. These are the prairies. That hence is the prairies. We're not up in bush country, forest. This is the prairies. There's no trees in the prairies. Another thing about our soil is down here in the prairies is we don't need a lot of rain. If we could get 6 inches of rain, which is pretty standard rainfall outside of drought years, 6 inches of rainfall, 6 to 8 inches, 8 inches would be better. That's going to give us about a 40 bushel average crop on continuous cropping year after year, year after year, year after year, and we can make good money at that year after year, year after year, because we don't have to have a mountain of equipment to farm acres out here. You can push your equipment. You can seed 10, 15,000 acres to a drill. Heck, we were combining up to 7,000 acres per one combine. You can't do that up north. You got to have like every 2,000 acres, you got to have a combine. So since you can reduce your equipment costs and you reduce your fertilizer costs because you're not growing 80 bushel crops, make good money. But you kind of need it to rain every now and then. So anyways, that's the reason why. I know you got other questions like, Mike, okay, fair, that's fair. Okay, you're taking both on as a package deal. Why not just spray this grass out like what you did and leave it as chem fallow? For those of you who don't know what chem fallow and summer fallow is, summer fallow is the same as chem fallow, except it's tillage. Chem fallow, chem, hence chemical, chem. That is when you either spray it or till it, let it sit over the summer, let this grass rot down, and then you seed into it next spring. It'd be nice and soft. There'd be a whole bank of moisture in the ground. There'd be more nutrients from the decomposing of the grass. And that was an option, but I'm really not into chem fall. I haven't chem falled since 2015. Mosquitoes. And I'm just really not into it. I'm not going to chem fall one field. It's too much of a pain in the butt for me. So that's the reason why. It just comes down to logistics. Now, there is people that do chem fall, and there's people that do summer fall. And I got a neighbor. He's probably about 15 miles that direction. He summer falls. He's half and half. And the reason why, if you want to know half and half, why do people do this half and half? And that's when you let your land sit for the year and then you seed the next year. And then the stuff that you seeded that year, you let it sit for the next year. The only reason why you do it is moisture conservation. That's the only reason. Just for moisture conservation. That's it, you guys. That's it. Now, these last 3 years, we've been pulling off, no yield, maybe 10 bushel yield, and he's been pulling off 30, 35 bushel yield on his on half his land. And on the other half of his land, he has had to chem fall it or summer fall it. Now, he's probably doing better in the drought years. But we've had lots of years where we're 40 bushel. That's our 10-year average, 40 bushel. So to get a 10-year average, you obviously have to be above that. So we can grow a crop. We just need a little bit of rain. And we don't want very much rain. I can't remember if I already covered this in this video, but we don't want very much rain down here. If we get too much rain, we get up into like the 10 inches, the 15 inches, the 20 inches of rain, it ruins our land. It's a saline issue. It doesn't take it very well. We've had up to 30 inches. I think it was in 2016. Don't quote me on that. But one of those years back there, we had a mountain of rain. And it nearly set us back to the Stone Age. It's like we had water coming out of hilltops, for goodness sakes. It took us a long time to get that saline down. Now, different parts of Saskatchewan, Little Lomere, needs different rainfall. The North Farm probably gets more like 10, 15 inches a year. But it needs a little more rainfall. So anyways, I did seed this durum. It is durum. I can't remember if I covered that. A little bit on the light side because I was seeding it right into grass. And I knew moisture was a problem. It is a little bit on the yellow side, and that's just due to it's lacking some nutrients. So we might come out here and dribble down some 2800, which is nitrogen. Because if it's going to keep raining, then we'll keep fertilizing for hopefully a better crop. That's what you do. And we might do that on even the durum, the first half of the durum that we seeded. Because, we have to be careful with how much fertilizer we put down, because when we seeded this, our drought hadn't broke. I like to think that it's probably safe to say that our drought broke, because we got more rain than we've ever had in the last few years. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. If we wouldn't have gotten the rain, we would be walking out here and it would be like as if I chem followed. There wouldn't be a dang tootin' thing growing. So I'm pretty thankful that there is crop growing out here. We'll keep updating this as the crop grows. It's still too young yet to spray, and there's really no need to spray it yet. The burn off is still working very well. I'm gonna go home early, maybe shave, go to bed a little earlier. It's been a long haul. One thing we have to watch out for is grasshoppers. For sure, grasshoppers could be in this grass. Although this wet, cool weather we've been having might slow them down a little bit. I don't see any jumping. These are some little broadleafs. They're easy to kill. Broadleafs. So yeah. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but just give it some time. It will. And even though it is on the thin side, it will stool out. Don't you worry. It will. We've done lots of trials down here. We've had 40 pound wheat durum, seeded at 40 pounds, which is less than a bushel, yield the same as 90 pounds under the right environmental conditions, hence being drier. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I like it. I can see every row. I think I answered most of your questions. Probably not. But that's it in a nutshell. I'll catch you on the flipper. Adios, amigos.